Hey everybody, it is Andrew with Curse here, and today I'm going to be bringing you just a little bit of knowledge behind Dying Light, which was released today. So in case you're wanting to know anything about that title, hopefully I can shed some light on it in this video. So right off the bat, Dying Light, zombie survival game premise. We've had a lot of this recently, and frankly, what makes this one stand out, or what makes this one special? Well, first off, it's a zombie game that isn't being released in an early access alpha state. So that's maybe one good sign right off the bat. There is a story to the game. I'm not going to go ahead and do any spoilers, but I will say there is a story. Your name's Kyle Crane. You're dropped into this zone with a mission, and you're going to run into a couple groups of people doing all types of missions for them to complete the mission that you are on. I've seen how it's going to kind of unfold a little bit, but I don't want to ruin anything, so we're going to go ahead and jump right past that. Now, the first thing that you are going to be doing in this game is learning the parkour system and how it kind of works out and how it's going to play out through the game. It's important to learn this early on, too, because this is really kind of what holds the game together. You're using this all of the time. There's really no way to not use it. If you don't use it, you'll probably just die. So you're going to learn how to use the parkour system, which does feel a little bit like Mirror's Edge if you played that, but probably not quite as fluid as Mirror's Edge. So the parkour system is in the game. It's very important for evading enemies, very important for just getting around the map too in general. It helps you really conquer what you need to do in the game. So the parkour system, I will say, feels good, and it is kind of nice to have it in a zombie game because it feels like something you would actually be using in this kind of situation. Moving on from there, there is the fighting in the game, which is something also you will be using because, let's face it, they're zombies. You're going to want to fight them. You're going to want to take care of them when you need to. Now, the fighting you have to be careful with. So far, everything I've experienced is hand-to-hand. Now, there might be guns later on in the game, and I have seen characters in-game with guns in the storyline, but I haven't seen them use them, and I haven't had a chance to use any myself. So for now, we stick to hand-to-hand, using anything from pipes or table legs to knives, all types of things. And these also can be upgraded. Before we get to how they are upgraded, though, I will say when you are in hand-to-hand combat situations, you're going to want to be careful because you run out of stamina while fighting very quickly, so you need to be careful. If you take on too many zombies at once, you're probably going to have a bad time. But like I said, there is a way to kind of make your weapons better, and this is through looting and crafting. Now, the world is very, very large and very, very open. You can pretty much go anywhere you want right off the bat, but once again, if you get to night, you got to be careful because of the whole Dying Light situation. But like I said, you can go around, you can loot, and looting will then turn into things that will become craftable. Now, crafting isn't super in-depth, but as you find new items and as you progress yourself through the game, you're able to learn new things to craft. So once you find those items to make them, you can create them, and they can be from anything that helps you see better at night while being in the dark, and then anything that can help you when adding onto your weapons, to all types of things. So the looting system leads to crafting. So things you might want to loot in the game, anywhere you go inside of buildings, inside of houses, you can loot inside cupboards or refrigerators or anything like that and find all types of items from coffee beans to gauze to anything like little weapons that you might use in the future. These things are all sellable too to merchants back at some of these safe houses and these bases that you will run into. So you can pick up things to sell later on and to buy and equip other items and buy other items. But overall, you can then take these and then craft them together to create new objects. In a similar vein to looting and crafting, there is a leveling up system. So as you progress throughout the game and you fight and you get experience that way, and just using your parkour over and over, you level up these abilities that you're using, and you'll get skill points. Now you can drop these skill points into new abilities that help you learn and kind of progress through the game. It does feel nice. It kind of feels like you are learning new things, and you have new tricks up your sleeve them as the game progresses. So some of my favorite ones that I've learned quick, at least on my parkour side of things, like I can now slide when I'm running, which will help me kind of evade or get around quicker if I want to go under a low wall. And another one too is I can kind of jump up onto the front of a zombie and kind of over the top of them, which helps me if I'm running into a big herd of them, kind of help me get away from them a little bit quicker. These things added to the game help you feel like you're actually are kind of like accomplishing something as a character because it adds more to the game, and it just feels like it progresses and it feels like you progress along with it. Now, it's important to take all of these things and put them together, though, because in the evenings, when it does become night, it's a place you really don't want to be. You're going to want to use your parkour and all of your skills really all together to help get out of the night. Now, luckily, if you are at a safe house, you can sleep through the night because it's a safe house, and then you don't have to deal with the terribleness that is night, because it is a very different world at night. The zombies are very, very angry, and they really, really want to kill you. So I highly suggest at night getting away from the night, getting to a safe house as fast as possible. If you are left out there though and you really do need to get away back, evade as fast as you can, stick to the roofs, stay off the streets. Now they will climb after you because at night they are much better at getting you and finding you, but overall you just want to evade. Another thing I did find that did help me a little bit at night was I actually turned off my flashlight and I snuck around a little bit when I could, and then I just bolted in the night in the dark without my flashlight on, and they typically won't see you as much, but you're gonna be, you know, running into things because it's very dark. So that's one way to get around it, but it's still not easy. I just recommend not being outside when the night falls. Now, we might be seeing anywhere from 30 to 50 hours worth of gameplay. I'm currently on a trend with my percentage I've completed to be around 35-ish hours of gameplay. I think they were saying about 50. We'll have to see how that all ends out once I progress further and how much longer some of my story missions will take me. But overall, it's been pretty good experience. Just use your fighting abilities best and your parkour abilities together really well and craft very clever items that might help you in the environment, and other than that you're gonna have a great time too. And hopefully some of these little tips and tricks or some of this information hopefully has helped you decide whether or not you might be picking up this title. But if you do, make sure you enjoy the game.